Hey guys, Mr. Milton here. Today we are going to look at solving equations. Okay, at the end of this video, you should be able to solve equations with variables on one side of the equal sign, and you should be able to use the distributive property to solve equations. In order to solve an equation, you need to isolate the variable. Okay, and that means you need to get it by itself on one side of the equation. To do this, you have to move the numbers on the same side of the equal sign to the other side, and you do that by using inverse operations. Okay, and when you think of inverse, you're saying like the opposite operations. So if you have addition, you'll move by doing subtraction. If you have division, you'll move by doing multiplication. So let's go through some examples here. So here we have x plus 6 equals 11. I need to isolate x. I need to get x by itself. And so what I'll do is I need to move this plus 6. I will move plus 6 by doing the inverse operation. Instead of plus, I'll move it by doing minus 6. X plus 6 minus 6, when we do that, that gives us 0. So on this side I have x plus 0, which I'm not going to write plus 0. I'll just have x. 11 minus 6 is 5. X equals 5. I should be able to check this answer by plugging it in. 5 plus 6 equals 11. Okay, good. My answer's good. Looking at the next problem. I have 3 minus 4x equals negative 17. Okay, I'm trying to get x by itself. Again, I need to move the things around it away. So here's where I'll start. I need to move this 3 away. Now in the last problem, when we looked at 6 had a positive in front of it. What does this 3 have in front of it? You might say, well, it doesn't have anything in front of it, and you're kind of right. But you're kind of wrong, because there is an understood plus here. Okay, kind of like here, there's an understood 1, right? If we had 1 here, you wouldn't have been like, oh, that's a whole different thing. Right? There's an understood 1 here that we don't need to write because just kind of we recognize it. Same thing here. If we don't say anything about it, then it's a positive 3, right? And so in order to get rid of this 3, we have to do the inverse of it, okay? It's positive 3. In order to get rid of it, we have to subtract 3 from both sides, okay? And so when we do that, on this side, we're left with negative 4x. Notice we didn't do anything with that negative sign, so it's still there, equals negative 20. And now we need to get x by itself. What's stopping x from being by itself? Well, this negative 4. What is the negative 4 doing to x? Well, being right next to it means it's multiplying x. And so in order to get rid of the negative 4, we need to get rid of it by doing the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. So negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1, which, like we said, we kind of understand that there's going to be a 1 there. And so that's just x. Negative 20 divided by negative 4 is positive 5. Here we go, number 3. We have 2/3 x plus 7 equals 13. Okay? Here, just like this last time, we had 2 things to do at once. We had to make sure that we do these in the correct order. And I guess I could take the time to talk about what the correct order is. Remember that we did the PEMDAS, the order of operations, in order to simplify, right? It's like tying a knot, making it really simple, okay? Well, in order to solve, we kind of go backwards. We do addition and subtraction first, then multiplication, then the division, then exponents, and then parentheses last. And so that's what we'll do as we solve here. So the first thing that we'll do here is we'll do addition and subtraction to get rid of, to undo this problem. Okay, and so we're going to do the inverse, or the opposite of plus 7, and subtract 7 from both sides. So we're left with 2/3 x, Control Z, 2/3 x equals 6. Okay, and as we look at this problem, we can do this a couple different ways. I'll long way it first. Okay, when we look at this and we're saying, okay, we need to get x away from this 2 and this 3. Okay, what is each number doing to the x? Well, 3 is on the bottom of a fraction. And so that means that 3 is dividing x. In order to get rid of 3, we need to multiply. Okay, so in order to get rid of 3, we need to multiply. So there we have it. We multiply both sides. And on this side, we kind of think of it as like, okay, that cancels it out, right? I kind of avoided doing that for these other two. And so on the left side, we're left with, write it up here, 2x. And on the right side, we have 18. Okay, now what is the 2 doing to x? Well, it's multiplying. So to get rid of it, we divide on both sides, and we get that x is 9. And there's our answer. Okay, a little bit more review, but now bringing it to the light because we will need it. Distributive property. Okay, remember the distributive property was that if we had like a number outside of a parentheses, then that means that we were multiplying it here. Okay, so 4 times x plus 3. It's outside the parentheses, but we're saying 4 and distributing it to the values inside. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times x plus 3 is 4x plus 12. Notice in number 2 that we have 5 plus 2 times 3x minus 1. Okay, it's important for us to realize that the 2 is the number that's being distributed inside of the parentheses and not the 5, right? The 5 is next to an addition sign. 2 is not next to an operation sign. Well, there's no operation sign between the 2 and the 3x. So we know that that's distributing. Okay, so as we look at that, 2 times 3x, it gives us 6x. 2 times negative 1 gives us minus 2. And then there's a 5. So here we can add our like terms and say 5 minus 2 is 3, right? Positive 3. So 6x plus 3 should be our answer. Okay, and a little trick here, and I'm going to go a different color so I don't get it confused. Notice here that we distributed a positive 2, and nobody had a problem with it. I don't think very many people were like, well, why is it positive 2, right? And it's positive 2 because there's a plus sign. Here, in front of here is a negative 3. We want to make sure that we distribute a negative 3. So we have negative 3 times x, it's negative 3x. We have negative 3 times negative 2. Negative times negative, remember, is positive 6. Okay, and this 12 out here, unbothered up to this point. 12 minus 3x plus 6. So 12 plus 6, that gives us 18. So that minus 3x has been untouched so far, plus 18. All right, always remember to consider the sign, or check it. I like consider it. It sounds nicer. Consider the sign in front of the number when distributing, okay? So that's what we talked about, why we need to distribute this negative 3 and not just 3. Here are a few problems. Let's try it out. So here I'm distributing. I'll get 4x minus 20 equals 16. I need to get x by itself, so I want to add 20 to both sides. This should be a plus. Okay, so now I have 4x equals 36. Divide by 4. X is 9. Here, I'm going to distribute on this side before I start solving. So I have 7 plus 6x minus 4 equals 5. Combine my like terms. So I have 6x plus 3 equals 5. Subtract 3 from both sides. 6x equals 2. And then I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide by 6. Now here you might be like, well, wait, you can't divide 2 by 6. You can. It's a fraction. Can't do it evenly, but you can do it. X equals 2 over 6. But we simplify fractions. It's 1/3. Number 3, number 3, we've got on this side to distribute 3/4 to these numbers. Okay, so I'll get some space over here. 3/4 times 12. And when I multiply a fraction by a whole number, I like to make the whole number a fraction over 1. So we have 36 over 4, which is 9. So here we'll have 9x, 3/4 times 8. 24 over 4 simplifies to give us 6 plus 6. Okay, and so now we're going through and solving. Subtract 6 from both sides. We get 9x equals 18, or 18 equals 9x. Divide by 9, and 18 divided by 9 should give us 2. I'm going to distribute this -3 to both these terms. Again, very important that I consider the sign in front of my number. 6 minus 3x minus 21 equals 18. Combine these 6 and negative 21 gives us negative 15. So I have negative 3x minus 15 equals 18. I'm going to add 15 to both sides. And that gives me 33. So I have negative 3x equals 33. Divide by negative 3. Has to be negative because I want to get rid of the sign too. And x will give me negative 11. So another tool we can use to solve equations is to combine like terms. We kind of already talked about that, sorry. To combine like terms. And that just means that if they are the same thing, we can put them together. Instead of saying 2 plus 5 plus 3, we can be like, okay, that's 10. Right? To do this, you put together all terms that have the same variable. You simply add or subtract the coefficients. The coefficient just means the number in front of the variable. So here we have 5x minus 4 plus 3x plus 10 equals 22. So the x's are like terms because they're both x's, that's 8x. These are also like terms, the -4 and the 10. When I say, okay, I have -4 and 10, well, that means I have +6. So now I've combined my like terms to make this a little bit more simple in order for me to solve it. So now I can continue solving it. Subtract 6 from both sides. 8x equals 16. Divide by 8. X equals 2. Now we're not moving things to the other side until we put things together on one side. Okay, and that keeps our problems organized and efficient. 7x plus 5 minus 3x. So I'm looking at here, I'm like, okay, 7x minus 3x, that gives me 4x. Plus 5, because I haven't done anything with it yet. All right, now I'm subtracting 5 from both sides. That should give me -24. And I'll divide by 4, because x is next to 4. To get rid of the 4 that's multiplying, I have to do the inverse, which is division. And so then I get x is -6. The other side, I have to distribute. Remember that I want to consider the sign in front of my number. So I have 5x minus 3x. Negative times negative is +24 equals 40. Combining my like terms gives me 2x plus 24 equals 40. And now I have to worry about getting stuff to the other side where I'll use opposite or inverse operations. So subtracting 24 from both sides, 2x equals 16, divide by 2, x equals 8. Okay, and there we have it. Many times the hardest part about word problems is setting them up. We're going to look at some word problems here. Use what you learned in lesson 2 to help you. For each word problem, define your variable, write an equation, and solve. Be sure to label your answer. Again, labeling here will help you to make sense of your answer. Here we go. It says, together, you and your puppy weigh 128 pounds. You weigh 15 pounds. How much does your puppy weigh? Okay, pretty simple here. So how much does my puppy weigh? I'm going to say P. P stands for my puppy's weight. It tells me that I weigh 115 pounds. Together with my puppy, we weigh 128 pounds. So I subtract 15 from both sides, or 115 from both sides. And I get that my puppy weighs 13 pounds. Answer the question, 13 pounds. Okay, boom. Makes sense. I could check it. 3 less than double the mystery number is 23. What is the mystery number? Mystery is M. Okay, so now 3 less than double the mystery number. Again, we're taking it away from something, so we have to have something to take it away. So double the mystery number, 3 less than double the mystery number is 23. This is just like a number, so x, y. I don't know if using M helps us out to make sense of it any more than anything else, but at least I know it's a mystery number. Trying to get rid of the 2. The M's okay. We want to get M by itself. We're going to divide by 2. Okay, and now we'll get that M is 13. Order magazines from Amazon.com. Each magazine costs $5.75. The shipping charge is $2. If you have a $25 gift card, how many magazines can you buy? So in this case, I'm going to use M for magazines. Okay, so as I set this up, I need to say, okay, I have $25. That's my total. I'm going to spend everything in the gift card here because I can't spend gift cards everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to spend everything in my gift card here. I also know that no matter how many magazines I buy, my shipping is $2. It's constant, just write 2. Adding to my price of shipping is $5.75. But here's where my variable comes in and why it's an algebraic equation and not just an equation. Algebraic because I don't know how many magazines I'm going to buy or I can buy. Okay, so it's $5.75 per magazine. If I buy 1, it's $5.75. If I buy 2, it's 2 times that. 3 times, 5 times, 7 times, whatever. Okay, so here's my equation. And now I can solve it. I need to get M by itself. Subtract 2 from both sides, 23. 5.75 times M. I need to get M by itself, so I'm going to divide by 5.75. And this is one of those situations where calculator is helpful. 23 divided by 5.75, 4. Nice. So I could buy 4 magazines. Okay, and when we get into inequalities, I might say I could buy at most 4 magazines. But with equations, 4 is going to be a good answer. All right, so there we go. We solved some word problems, solved some 1-step, 2-step, multi-step equations, and so we'll spend